Greetings, Dapplings, and welcome back to From the Depths, Season 4. Off camera, I have done a little bit of work. I have increased our resource gathering rate, though there's plenty of room for us to increase that further once we upgrade the engine. I have also just finished tweaking the turret. It now has a gauge increase, so we are actually using shells the diameter that we wanted, that is 40 millimeters. And I've also, let me demonstrate, I've set it up to fire in sequence rather than all of the barrels at the same time, which, if nothing else, just seems nicer. It sounds and feels nicer. Though, we've got the enemy bearing down upon us, and I would very much like it if we could set up at least one more type of bullet for that weapon to fire. Now, specifically what I'm thinking about is tracers. For those who don't know what tracers are, they're effectively glowing bullets. They offer a visual aid to your aim because you can actually see the way the bullet is arcing, bullet drop, and that kind of thing. Now, there's two caveats with tracers because, you know, on the surface, that's fantastic. Why wouldn't you want this? It increases accuracy. Well, in terms of the mechanics of the game, by adding the visible tracer, I'm taking up a slot that could otherwise be used for a fuse, in this case, or a warhead, something like that. So I'm dropping the primary function of the bullet, which is to do damage. The other thing is that the bullets need to have a comparable muzzle velocity, because it doesn't really help if you can tell what the bullet drop is on a tracer bullet if it's moving much faster or much slower than the other bullets, because it's going to have a very different arc of fire as a result. So we need to check that this has a similar muzzle velocity of 259.61. 259.61. Fantastic. Oh, well, 6.2 actually. But let's go over to our turret and set this up. Now, the way that we're going to do this is, first and foremost, I'm going to pop down the inputs there. I want these, certainly this one to take the regular bullets, but I want this one at the back to take the new tracer bullets. Now, unfortunately, it does mean that the tracers aren't going to fire normally until we've exhausted these clips. Though, that being said, I could just force them to recycle by replacing the clip completely. Now, you'll notice they are visually different, which is a very nice little guide for you if you've got the visible bullet boxes. As I mentioned before, you can have the solid ammo clips. They're much cheaper computationally for your computer to render, but I actually really find it useful to be able to just look inside and see what the bullets are comprised of. Now, there is one other thing that I would very much like to do before we get too carried away, and that is to make sure that my AI back here is going to do a good job. And it's not at the moment. Let me place that in there. Now, we want a couple of cards. Aim point selection, that's just going to make our cannons fire as best they can to the parts of the enemy craft that are important. And this one, target prioritization. Now, as per usual, I wanted to target anything with an AI as a very high priority. But given that this is an AA weapon, I also wanted to target things in the air a little bit more than things on the ground. I'm going to say per weapon. Well, it's already got that per weapon, so that's fine. So that seems reasonable, all things told. Aim point selection, fortress control card, all good things. All right. Now then, we've got a little bit of time, I think. The enemy are actually getting quite close. Well, I would like if we could start work on a missile system, honestly. So why don't we do that? Now, I'm going to build the missile system about here, I think. Something like this. Let's go ahead and start laying the foundations for this, if nothing else. We might not be able to build it in time, but that's fine. So I want missile launch pads aiming up. And you know what? I'm going to want these much further apart, to be perfectly honest with you. That way, I'm going to be able to get them to have all the launch, where are they? Ejector add-ons that we need. So we can make sure that these are going to fire up fairly high. Now, that is actually quite a pain. Oh well, I guess I can just... Ooh, no, there we go. That is not actually so good. Alright, well, you're here ready to attack our fleet. Okay, let's load the fleet in. I was trying to get that sorted out before you arrived, but doesn't look like I'm going to get much of a choice on that one. Alright, well, let's get the battle started then. I would much rather than having missiles, because we're going to have at least a couple of ships here. 2 ships to be specific. We've got the Drake over there, I believe it said. Let me just mouse over it again. Yep, Drake, Marauder, and Riverhome. Well, there's no use trying to run away from it. We're in battle, so... Now, are you going to be able to fire? Oh, that's going to be a bit of a pain. Let me rotate the fortress so that it's not in the path of the bullets. Ah! How did that happen? Stupid magic stairs. Right, there we go. Let's rotate you around so the cannon is facing our enemies a little bit better. Lots of damage coming our way from those bloody missiles, though. Very nasty. I wonder why our AA gun is not targeting the Drake. That's a little bit of a concern. In fact, that's an enormous concern. Okay, let me have a quick gander at you. How are you set up? No limit on pretty much anything. Okay. Now, it's slowed down a little bit because it's using the auto-loaders. Ah, we're starting to fire our tracers. Let's get over there. I think we've actually been firing them for the whole conflict, but... You know what? I really feel that we need to kill that Drake more than anything else, so I'm taking control. Where are you scallywag? AI, please stop faffing around. AI, please stop faffing around. See if I can't hit you, shall I? I have no idea if these are actually getting anywhere close to hitting this thing. Oh no, it looks like I am. There we go. Sorry, that was probably incredibly loud. But I really need you to be dead. There we go. Problem solved. Don't attack salvage. And you can have control. Now, the AI fighting me there made that a lot harder than it should have been, but oh well. Let's go and have a gander at what's going on over here, then. Are the enemy ships mating? I'm sure there were 2 of them, and that looks much longer than it should be. Yeah, they are. Wow. You are quite derpy. And it looks like our AA weapon is doing a very good job of just chewing through everything here. Now, the nice thing here is because I wasn't going to be equipping a fuse on the tracers, I just filled it up with HE warheads. Because the flak is only really useful if you might miss, but might not miss by much. So having a fuse, like a time fuse or a proximity fuse, really, really helps. But since we weren't going to be doing that, there was no reason to have flak as the warhead. So I just equipped it with the heavier explosion and hoped for the best. And it seems that that is actually delivering. Right, well, while all that's going on, let's get in here and start continue work on our missile system. We are going to be coming under attack again fairly soon, so I don't have all the time in the world to just hang around setting all of this up. Yeah, that should be good enough. Now, what I'm going to need are connectors. Ooh. Actually, that said, let me get rid of these for now. Drat! Did it anyway. Oh well. That'll do. You know what, let's just set it up for 5 firing. It's not as attractive in terms of symmetry, but it will work. So we want a missile controller down here. Now, of course, that is going to pose a little bit of a problem to set up, but we should be able to place it there and still have everything connect, which is good. I would like probably a staggered fire as well. I can go there. We'll set this up to a 0.5 second delay. Then we'll fill out the rest with wood blocks. Okay, I can hear things exploding. Ah, drat. You're a close enough position to be able to shell us over the mountain, but we can't do the same back because our bullets move too fast. They don't have the kind of high arcing shots that we would need. Oh, that is frustrating. Okay, well, we'll continue work on the missile system, since that is probably what we're going to need to finish this fight in any reasonable amount of time. Let's go ahead and build a couple of ammo barrels down here. We want process resources, ammo barrels. You know what? I don't actually want my ammo barrels getting wet. That just seems silly. And down this side as well. Now, are they actually able to hit their opponent or not? Oh, wait, they're going to go straight up, aren't they? Because I'm a derp. I haven't set them up properly. I need 1 turns on this. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Okay, so we want probably drop a 1 turn there instead and assign it to all. That should cause them to arc around. There we go. Oh my lord. I would forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. There we are. Not really doing that much. Why they're hitting the shovel at the front, I have no idea, but okay. There we are. At least we're now able to do some damage to the thing. It's probably got some heat decoys in there. I think they've got... well, none, really? I have no idea then. But they're now targeting different components on the vessel. They'll be going for the hottest parts. If we bring up 8... it's a bit hard to see. I wish the text was a different color, but we can see the overall temperature of different components. Move in there. It looks like the whole vessel actually has... it looks like the engine is the hottest part, and that's just in the middle. But now it's back in a position where our AA gun can attack. Okay, well, this has been a horrifically long battle, considering. But there we are. It's gone. It is dead. I am happy. Now then. Let's set you up properly. I want explosive warheads all the way down. And a laser designator receiver, I think. And I had to clear my throat. I do apologize. Right. Okay. So, all we need to do with the laser designator receiver is guidance delay. No, I need to set this up to receive targets from my fleet. Can I get this? Is it in here? Aim at our lasers only. There we are. Aim at our team's lasers only. And assign it to all. There we go. All set up. Glorious. Right, at this point then, having the Eye of Pontus active is going to be very useful for us. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about all of the resources around here. It's not a big issue for me right now. I wouldn't mind engaging this fleet earlier on. That might be something that we could look into doing. I wonder if perhaps setting these up with variable speed thrusters and then just turning them down a little bit so they're a bit slower, but they can travel further. There we go. Oops, that's not quite what I meant to do. There we are. That should help a little bit. Okay. It's not terribly effective, certainly not. But hopefully, it'll still be able to project that firepower over a reasonable range. Now, what we would like down here is to have a little bit more in the way of resource gathering. So let's have a quick gander. Okay, it won't take too horribly long, I would hope, for us to be able to build the Thunderling. It's going to take a while, but let's have a quick gander at how many resources we're going to need for that thing. Right, Thunderling. 55,000 scrap, metal, oil, quite a lot of natural, sorry, 55,000 natural, and 22,000 scrap. How much have we got? We got a long bloody way to go. A long way to go indeed, but we may as well start the construction, I suppose. Go ahead then. Start loading it in. Our Thunderling's going to be very close by. We're going to unhook it and then capture it over here. There we go. Where on earth am I sending the Thunderling? That is not good. I would prefer the whole distance to be a little bit further out. That'll do. About there. Okay. It's not going to be an easy build, this one, but we'll start filling it up all the same. Unfortunately, because I can't finish off the hull, a lot of the really vulnerable bits are going to just be built on it instead, which is kind of terrifying. That said, we've got so much metal, I could perhaps start just upgrading the hull as it's being built here and now. That might be a good idea. Though, before I do anything else, I'm actually going to rotate the fortress around, because where are the enemies going to come from? It looks like the wireframes are over in that direction, so I'm going to rotate the fortress so that my AA cannon will just turn around to face them. Next, we've got a few resources that I can just take away from here, like so. There we are. What is spinning? Is it something in here? Is something really close nearby? I have no clue. Oh, is it that this was just came close enough that the sound started kicking? Oh, fair enough. Right. How's the Thunderling going? We're spending so much wood on just building that up. But it needs to be done, and once we've got the Thunderling, then the next thing we're going to do is I'll start building up the Shrine of Pontus. And whilst that's being built up, I'll work on replacing the cladding with metal on the Thunderling, making it much, much more survivable. But for now, I think we could probably engage these opponents with our AA gun at this range and still stand a reasonable chance of taking them out. I might wait until they're just a tiny bit closer. In fact, let's do that. Let's just speed up time just a tad. So you get a little bit closer to us. All of you need to be set up to receive repairs. As soon as you enter this point, I'm going to engage that fleet. How's the Thunderling coming along? It's up to 37%. That's actually pretty good. Right. Good enough for me. Let's grab you and engage. Thunderling I'll probably pull out of play. I really didn't want the Thunderling there. Let's pull you in. Send the Thunderling out. No? Okay. Thunderling's coming with us, regardless what I want. Right, you can go down to the bottom. I'll leave things as they stand. 10,000 blocks. It is going to be a smaller combat, but I'm hoping that this means that the Thunderling is simply not going to be loaded in. Yeah, that looks like the best thing that I can do there. Okay, let's get down there and see how things go. Have I already launched missiles? No. We're going to need to wait for them to get a little bit closer. Looks like the bullet drop isn't quite... Oh no, actually, we are actually hitting the Atlas at this range. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm assuming it's an Atlas. Or is that little tiny drone over there? It looks glorious, whatever it is. But the Atlas is going down. It may even kill it long before it's within range to actually engage us. And while we're doing this... Oh no, you've got an advanced cannon. Ooh. You tricksy swine. I approve, I think. But this is an extreme range that we're fighting at here. There is some crazy arc action going on there. Let's get down there and see what's happening. Explosions are what's happening. Quite spread out, but very frightening. Very frightening all the same. Really do want to try and blow you up as soon as we can. I could possibly build a second one of these turrets. Now that I've gotten rid of the other one that was here. You know what? I think that's a bloody good idea. All I want to do here is save this sub-object. I will save it here. It will be called... Starter AA. Good enough for me. Actually, no, we'll just place it down straight away. We'll come out of that first. We've got to go back to the hull. I really wish you wouldn't be quite so loud. Enough to give a man a headache. If we build it here, then I can just connect down to it without too much problem. If I go ahead and get an AI local weapon controller, just drop down, flick that up, there we go. I can get a 6-way connector, so they're just immediately connected together, no issue there. Failsafe, clunk, there we go. And oh dear, that sounded like it was something big that just exploded. I am going to be very sad if that is the case. Probably is the case though. We've just lost some ammo. Ah, drat. Oh well, it was bound to happen, unfortunately. Still more shots coming in. Oh, they're going for the Eye of Pontus. It is going to be a very long time before we have the means to build this, unfortunately. So, whilst that's all going on, let's head down here and check out what's going on in this battle. Have we done much damage? We have actually done a reasonable amount of damage to the Atlas, to be fair. It is really struggling against this. I think it was wise to go into battle this early, but I am concerned about you and your advanced cannon. The Atlas is really starting to struggle. We've taken out a lot of its hover blades, rotor blades, so it's wobbling in the air quite badly. Now, any of those hit the Eye of Pontus, I suspect it's going to be recalled straight away. Oh no, I think one just hit it. One or two have managed to connect. It's lost its radar. I'm surprised it hasn't been recalled at this point. Why is it still going? That is frightening. Let's just head down here, make sure it is getting called back. You know what? Why don't you come down here? Okay, never mind. Was I mistaken? Were you just not damaged enough? I could have sworn that I couldn't see the radar on you, but apparently you do have the radar there. Wow, 2 eyes are already down. That one probably got close enough to be engaged by our missiles. And you are being pulled out now. What are you going for? Very distant target here. It's going to take you a long time to do that. Okay. 2 damage, but sustained. Probably... yeah, you really need to take the Thunderling out of this. Thunderling, warp out of play, please. There we go. Did that destroy it? Okay, that is really not good. I have no idea why that's the case, but I guess I must have done something wrong. Let's lift you up, back out of the water. Seems you've sunk down a little bit too low. There we go. That should help. I'm really quite sad that the Thunderling got taken out, though. But I strongly suspect we'll be able to win this fight without too much trouble. If only you would designate something a little bit closer. Let's go and have a quick look at your AI. There we go. Well, you're engaging whatever you feel like. Where's the AI? It is up here. Target prioritization should be over... Oh no, aerial movement. Oh, okay, you're just picking targets hither and yon. You don't really care too much. Very well. That's not really ideal. You know what? We just don't need that chair, so... The only issue is... I worry that this is going to cause some problems for us. Let's instead grab you. Do this. So there we've got that transmitted on the correct channel. I'm wondering if this will work. I'm hoping it will. Go to the AI. Local weapon controller. Cards. We want target prioritization. And for the sake of symmetry, which we're going to need, we'll do that. Now, set value for your crew. That should be fine. Hopefully you are now designating something else. You are not. Wait. If I have two of these, they're going to conflict. So even though I don't actually need an aim point selection, let's go ahead and pop one in there anyway. I would like range -1. Altitude doesn't really matter. Speed doesn't really matter. Size. Well, it does matter a little bit. Okay, it's probably always going to be designating that one no matter what happens. There we go. Missiles are away. Are they going to reach the target? Oh no, they fall just short. Scoundrels. Let's slow those missiles down a little bit. Variable thruster. Drop that down to 550. That should be enough, I would hope. Because this is going to take 1,000,000 years to kill it otherwise. Is it going down at long last? It might be. Yeah, there's very little sustaining it at this point. Despite the fact that we are basically killing it by throwing ping pong balls at it, we're throwing a lot of them very, very, very fast. So, I guess that's okay. It gets the job done, just really slowly. We definitely need a proper cannon for this, but I'll accept a victory via death by 1,000 cuts over a loss, certainly. And there we go. Okay, so we've eliminated the first two opponents who were thrown against us. There's a lot of scrap around us. They're probably going to send more before too long. We've done a little bit of work over here. Not a great deal, though, you understand. And unfortunately, the Thunderling got messed up quite badly. Let's grab the Thunderling. Can I set you... Source is dead, blueprint. You need to begin repairs on it before you can bring it back into play. There we go. Let's get you being repaired once again, shall we? Also, let's bring you into play. There we are. Right, well, we're going to have to start the repairs all over again, though hopefully, by the time you rejoin me, we will have completed repairs on the Thunderling, and we can actually have a ship then that can go out and gather all of this salvage for us. I may even start work on replacing a lot of the wooden armor with metal armor at that time, because honestly we've got a lot more metal than we've got wood. As a couple of people mentioned, I was just running under the assumption that it worked the same way that it used to, and that is metal was the resource that was scarce to begin with. But oh well. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and will be joining me for the next. As always, your feedback is warmly welcomed. But until then, do take care.